Welcome to My The Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. Welcome to Am I the Asshole Podcast. Oh, baby, it is a Thursday. We got another beautiful Thursday episode for you. And man, am I excited to get back into our new book, Hooked. Man, and boy, did it hook me in that first week. Oh my goodness. The book hooked me in the first week. I'm excited to get through today. I've been excited to revisit the book because, boy, it hooked you in. I hope you guys enjoyed that extra little sauce I decided to put on there. I decided to do 4 chapters for you guys, spoil you a little bit, you know what I mean? Get you excited, get you hyped for the book as much as yeah, boy. So, we'll be going over chapters 5 and 6 today. Hope you guys enjoyed that. But before we get into the book, you know what we got? We got today's thread. Today's thread is interesting. It is women. What did you find out about men when you got a boyfriend? So what did you guys find out when you got a boyfriend? Did you find out we're disgusting? Did you find out we're weird? Did you find out we do odd things when we're alone or when we're at home? You know, out in the streets, we're smooth and suave. You know, we got that factor to us. And then all of a sudden you live with us or you take us home and you're just like, the fuck is this? You know what I mean? So let's see what's up. See what y'all got going on. All right, so women, what did you find about men when you got a boyfriend? They have a seam on their ball sack. Okay, all right, well, why does the image pop up where she's just like lifting his penis and just looking at his balls like, you have a seam on there? What the heck is going on? Why is that there? It's like you're welded together. Oh, all right, cool. All right, women, what did you find out about men when you got a boyfriend? Balls can do weird things like shift and move a lot. Yes, because they are in fact balls in a sack. Like that's why they're called a ball sack. Yeah, they are indeed balls in a sack. I don't know what else to tell you. They are indeed balls in a sack. Women, what did you find out about men when you got a boyfriend? They give off so much heat, it's like having your own human radiator. Hey, facts. Honestly, I didn't realize how cold women are until you actually like cuddle with one. You're like, Jesus Christ, girl, you are freezing. You know what I mean? In the summer, it's fantastic, and I hate it because the girls are always like, no, I don't want to cuddle. It's hot. And I'm just like, but you're cold. You know what I mean? You got that ice skin, woman. I need that. You know, women are like personal ice bags, and I'll be like, come here. I just want to cuddle you because you're cold. But in the winter time, though, oh, man, it's long. It's long. Because you're over here freezing your butt off and then you got to cuddle this cold person. And you're like, God damn it. Women, what did you find out about men when you got a boyfriend? They like oval toilet seats rather than the round ones because their dicks get caught under the round ones. Facts. That is so true because it feels weird when your dick is just touching the bottom of the toilet seat. Yeah, it just makes you feel gross. It just makes your dick feel gross. You know what I mean? So then what you kind of do is it sucks because now you got to like one hand it. You got to like hold it down, you know what I mean? So it doesn't touch. And sometimes, you know, the guys who got a little more, let's say, damn it. They got a little more length. Let's just say that. God damn it. I had a good joke in there, and then it hopped out of my brain. But yeah, and a little more length, you know, then they're going to touch like the inner walls of it, and that's just disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Yeah, she is so right about that. All right, women, what did you find out about men when you got a boyfriend? Jerking a dude off is more difficult than I thought. Oh, man. This is the first girl to ever admit it. to ever admit it. Yes, you guys suck. That's why a lot of times we're just like if a girl wants to give us a hand job, we're just like, no, fuck off. I'll do it myself. Like you're horrible at it. You suck. This is why you put your mouth on it. Okay. Like, come on, man. I'm the all-time champ choking the chicken. Like, what do you mean? Why am I going to have this amateur do it? A lot of girls be sitting there like, oh, I'm great at it. Oh, I know how to do it. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're all trash. And it's funny because it's not like for dudes, all vaginas are different. So it's like, you know, when you're doing the little DJ hero, some girls they don't like it on the clitoris. They're like, nah, fuck that shit. I like it, you know, like near the entrance or whatever. Some girls like it in the entrance. Some girls like it on the clitoris. They're all different. With dudes, we got one factory setting, and that is shaft up and down. That's it. Factory setting, baby. We got one. And I'm just like, you can't do that. You guys have 3 factory settings, and we got to figure out which setting is on right now. Because even if, you know, she does like the clitoris action, then there might be a day where she's like, nah. You know, go on the entrance. You know what I mean? No entrance today. You know, on the inside. It's like, nah. And so, yeah, man. Yeah. And then it's like even during it the factory settings change, and you're like, yo, bruh, come on, man, you said clitoris, and she's like, well, I mean, now I want entrance, and you're like, come on, you wanted entrance yesterday. Hey, facts. All right, women, what did you find out about men when you got a boyfriend? I'll tell my husband a secret or something I'm not supposed to tell anyone. I know he won't say anything because he'll forget all about it. Facts. That's so facts. A lot of times for dudes in general, when we're told something that we are not supposed to tell anybody, we just innately forget it because we're like, why am I going to, you know, be reminded of this, or why am I going to keep this in my memory if you don't want me to tell anybody? Yeah, so I'm just going to forget about it. You know, I'm going to just throw something else in there. Yeah, can I fight a bear? You know, I wonder what dinosaurs were like. You know, we're just going to throw some, you know, monkey brain shit in there because we don't need this information. Like, men are very good at compartmentalizing information where it's like, okay, this information is important. This information has to have details, and this information I need but don't need at the moment. And so, and then if you throw something in there where it's like, oh, you don't have to you don't tell anybody, we're like, well, fuck this piece of information because I'm not going to compartmentalize it into anything. I'm not going to be using it to say something to somebody later on or anything like that. I'm just going to hear you out. Cool. Facts. Peace. And that, you know, it's done. And there's like, oh, remember when I told you the secret about Kelly? Who again? Who is that? Is that your friend? Is that somebody you know? I know the girls right now are like, facts, that's exactly what they do. Hey, I get it, but hey, if you don't want me to tell anybody, I'm just going to forget it. All right, women, what did you find out about men once you got a boyfriend? They can move their penis hands-free. I started laughing so hard when my boyfriend did it the first time. Yeah, of course, it's a muscle. It's a muscle, baby. You know what I mean? You got to work it out. Yeah, I'd be like, wong. It's so weird, the things that like amaze women when it comes to, you know, our junk, you know, and I get it because it's like, theirs ain't anything special. Theirs is just a hole in the ground, you know what I mean? But ours, it's like a little more complex, got some moving parts and things going on, you know what I mean? It goes from being like that to like, whoop, you know? And so, you know what I mean? They're just kind of like, whoa. Because me, you know, I'm a grower. I'm not a shower, you know what I mean? So sometimes, like, there was a time, I remember, like, a girlfriend in high school, she was just like, oh, you know what I mean? But then, like, you know, once we started doing our thing, she was like, oh, oh wait, hold on, because it looked, I guess, manageable, and she was like, okay, that can fit inside me for sure. Then I got raring to go. She was like, wait a minute, no, hold on, that's gonna like rip me apart. Like, what are we doing here? Yeah. Oh shit. Women, what did you find out about men once you got a boyfriend? They're actually so soft when they feel safe. Once that armor comes down, affectionate, goofy, sometimes clingy little golden retrievers, 10 out of 10 would snuggle again. And that's facts. And it sucks because it's like a lot of times, when it takes a really long time for like us to be able to do that. Because we got to know if you're the right girl to like even give that side to, because there's a lot of girls that like if you give it too soon, then they'll just be like, they'll either be turned off or they'll be accepting of it in the moment, but then they kind of won't look at you the same and be like, I don't know about that. So yeah, it is a little tough because it's like you don't want to give it too soon, but you don't want to be too late with it. You got to find that middle ground, and then it sucks because every girl has, a different tolerance level to it, and yeah, sucks being a dude because of you women's emotions. God dang it. But hey, I mean, when you do find that right girl though, and you know what I mean, you're able to open up to her like that, the relationship gets even better. All right, women, what did you find out about men once you got a boyfriend? If I just want to vent, I should preface my venting by letting them know I am not asking for a solution. Facts, because us men, we likes to fix shit, especially if you're our girl. If you're our girl, we understand innately as a man. That's our job, is to fix problems and fix shit. You know what I mean? You come to us with, hey, this is broken, and I'm like, cool, I will fix it. You know what I mean? And that's why you got to preface that shit like, hey, I just want to vent. I'm like, all right, cool, because then you're going to go into what the previous girl said, about like, don't tell anybody anything, because you can just vent and I'm going to take it in and forget all about it. You know what I mean? Now, if it's something important where, you're just like, maybe it's about the relationship or whatever, then okay, we might take it a little serious, because obviously that's something I'm going to need to use information in the future. So, we'll hold on to it like that. But in most parts, it's like, yeah, we gonna just take the information in, you're just like, Sally at work, she's a bitch, this and that, blah, 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 and then my manager, blah, 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 and then we're just like, oh, yeah, okay, cool, yeah, 100%, yeah, definitely. Then, once the conversation over, it's like, cool, we're done, chilling. What the hell happened? And so, yeah, I mean, that's the way that goes. All right, women, what did you find out about men once you got a boyfriend? That they will sit on the juiciest piece of gossip, but when you ask for details, they know nothing. What do you mean you didn't ask every single little detail? Oh, man. This one I don't understand. I really don't. I don't understand it. Like, why do I need to ask details? I got the important information, and that's that. Like, if it's like work drama or something, because I saw this video where it was like a TikTok. I don't know if it was real or if it was like staged or whatever, but they were like, the guy came home from work and he was like, oh babe, guess what? So-and-so, you remember when so-and-so was cheating on so-and-so? Like, guess what? They finally broke up. And she was like, how did they find out? I was like, I don't know. But they found out. Like, that's crazy, right? And she's like, what do you mean? How did she find out? Did they go to the house? Was it through social media? Was it through text? He was just like, I don't know. They just found out. And I thought that video was so funny. And then when I went in the comments, it was so many girls that were saying the same exact thing. Like, why didn't he get the details? What's the point in telling me if you didn't get the details? And I'm just like, but you don't really need the details. Like, I guess, I don't know. I thought that was mad weird. I thought it was super funny. But it's weird because, like, for us dudes, we're like, I got the juiciest piece of the information. What do you mean? The details aren't really that important. I don't think they are. I don't know. You could let me know in the comments, ladies, why the details are super important, but sure. All right, women, what did you find out about men when you got a boyfriend? How sassy they can be when they get comfortable with you. It really is like having a best friend. I mean, Like, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I don't know. Because, I mean, I look at it like when I'm comfortable with a girl, I'm like, cool, I can be myself and we're chilling. I don't have to really be like macho man 24/7. You know, sure, if we're out in public or, you know, we're dealing with something important or whatever, then sure, yeah, I'm going to take on that little manly role and, you know, I'm going to be a man and all that. But if we're at home, and we're just chilling, we're in the safety and comfort of our own home, yeah, I'm going to be goofy and silly and, you know what I mean? I'm going to be your friend and be your girlfriend and all that kind of stuff. Like, I want to hang out with you. Like, I don't know. Is that a bad thing? Was she saying it in a bad way or was she saying it in a good way? Because I would think it's a good thing. Like, as long as out in public and when you're out places and you're dealing with serious situations, as long as your man is a man in those situations, I wouldn't see anything wrong with, you know, him like being your best friend at home. You know, you guys are in the safety and comfort of your home. So yeah, I don't know. You guys let me know. I would think that she would be saying that in a way of like, oh, I didn't know that. Or like, is she saying it in a way of, ugh, I don't really like that. All of a sudden they want to be sassy. And it's like, I don't know. You guys let me know. All right, women, what do you find about men? Or what did you find out about men when you got a boyfriend? How little they worry about their health. I'm over here going to the doctor for every weird twinge or skin lesion, and then my husband over there was totally chill about not going to the doctor for the better part of a decade until I made him go. Yeah, I mean, it's the reason why men die before women. I ain't gonna lie to you, because we don't go to the doctors for shit. But at the same time, we understand that, you know, it's our duty to get shit done, and we can't get shit done if we're sick. You know, we can't get shit done if we're in and out of the hospital. We can't get shit done if, yeah, and I understand the importance of taking care of your health, and I understand that stuff. But again, it's just like, we just have that innate understanding of like, hey man, the train keeps running, and it keeps running because I'm at the helm, you know, especially if you got a guy who understands what it takes to like take care of a family, take care of a household, take care of other people than himself. You know what I mean? Like those kind of guys, they innately understand like, hey man, the train is a rolling, and if I stop, this train stops, and I can't have that, you know? So I understand because I'm the same way. I don't go to the doctors for shit, but hey, I try to live a healthy life. I try to eat clean, go to the gym, all that good stuff, because as a dude, that's the best we can do. You know what I mean? Women, what did you find out about men once you got a boyfriend? Let's see. Okay. Men communicate better without one-on-one eye contact. They open up more when side by side doing an activity like driving, fishing, playing pool, video games, sitting by a campfire, etc. Face-to-face direct eye contact, especially between men, can be physiologically or subconsciously interpreted as confrontation. Yes, because that's how we deal with other men. Other men, we only look each other in the eye when we are in competition, whether it be through physical combat, through business, through any of that. We don't look at each other like that because we understand that we're like animals. You know, if you've ever heard, like, if you stare an animal in the eyes, then they pose you as a threat. Like, that's just how we are. That's how we're built. We'll take that as a threat because we're survivors. You know what I mean? It's that hunting gene in us where we're like, you know, that's just how it is. But when we don't look at each other, there's that mutual respect. It's like, yeah, you know, like, hey, I got you. We're on the same thing. And then it's hobbies that we really bond over. And that's why we have to kind of be doing something. You know what I mean? We got to be doing something in order to like really bond with another guy. Guys can't just, you know, be friends off of the back of, hey, I know you. Like, what's up? We can't be friends like that. A lot of women could be friends like that, where they're just off the back of just, oh, I just know you. You know what I mean? But men, we can only be friends with other men under the guise of like a shared interest, whether it's cars, video games, computers, you know, whatever it may be. We're only friends under that strict limitation. And that's kind of the reason why we are the way we are technically. You know what I mean? So yeah, she's very right about that. Very, very right about that. All right, women, what did you find out about men once you got a boyfriend? They would rather break both of their arms than bring the groceries in multiple trips. I have no complaints. I'm just concerned sometimes, and it's also to show our woman that we're him, that we're Himothy. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Like, let us show off a little bit, like women don't really understand that guys do things to impress their girl. Like, a lot of guys do stuff to still impress their woman. It doesn't matter if we've been together for a year, if we've been together for 5 years, if we've been together for 10 years. We're always still going to do shit to try to impress you. Whether you notice it or not, we're going to still try to do things to impress you. Because why not? We want to be manly. We want to feel like, doted on, where you're just like, oh my God, you're so strong. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, like see your man take most of the bags into the thing and then tell him, oh babe, you're so strong, and rub his chest or whatever. Oh, he's gonna be so giddy. Oh, and he may not show it to your face, but I guarantee you the moment he walks away, he's gonna be like, I'm telling you, I don't care how macho your man is, getting a compliment from your woman is just the best. And especially when it's over little shit, because to us, we're like, oh my God, they noticed. You know what I mean? They noticed. She noticed that I was doing something for her. Like when a guy likes a girl, and this is before they're dating and stuff, and he does little things to try to impress her or try to get her to notice him and stuff like that. That shit makes us giddy. We don't want that feeling to go away just because we got you. You know what I mean? I would argue most men, they want you to notice the little things that they try to do to impress you and stuff like that. That's why we fix shit. That's why when you're like, oh, the sink's broken, we're like, I got you, babe. We don't call nobody because we're like, nah, man, he's stealing all the glory. I want to fix it. And then you be like, oh my God, babe, you're so handy. And you be like, damn right, girl. And then you walk away and he's like, yeah. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Heart's just full of love, man. And I think that's something that is kind of missed in a lot of relationships nowadays that I've noticed, is that, it's like, ladies, you got to praise your man a little bit. Praise him a little bit. If he does a little something, show him a little gratitude. Because I guarantee that he's going to feel so good about it. He's going to feel so giddy and happy. He's like, oh my God. So my girl noticed. You know what I mean? But you let that go and, you don't give him that gratitude for so long. He's just going to kind of feel used. You know what I mean? He's going to feel like, damn, I don't feel appreciated, And so it's like, show your man a little appreciation. If you see him carrying all the groceries in, you tell him, oh my God, you're so strong. If he fix something, you're like, oh my God, you're so handy. If he does something on the computer or fixes the internet or something, oh my God, you're so smart. I'm telling you, those little things right there make a man's day. And I don't think women do it enough. All right, women, what did you find out about men once you got a boyfriend? Their balls and penis float when they are taking a bath. Never knew. I mean, you girls just love knowing things about our business. Like, you know what I mean? Like, goodness gracious. And I guarantee you, some of you in the comment section are the ones that, you like to poke at it. Once it's done humping you, you're just like, oh my God, look at it. It's to look at. But yes, it does float because, you know what I mean? There's not much. Our balls are buoyant. So, once our balls catch buoyancy, they just float. They just do their thing, They just do their thing. All right, I'm going to do 2 more. Women, what did you find out about men once you got a boyfriend? Sometimes they really do just be thinking about nothing. Facts. I be thinking about nothing all the time. All the time. And it's nice. It's nice because, some women don't understand how much we think about on a daily basis from the moment we wake up to the moment we go to bed. We have so much shit we're thinking about, we're managing, that we're doing, just so that way it looks like it's not a lot, especially to our spouse. Like, to our woman, we want her to feel like shit's just being taken care of and it's just done. But there comes a lot of planning. There comes a lot of like, just a lot of thinking, there's just a lot involved in trying to just have everything taken care of to where, your girl feels like, hey, everything's just kind of chill. Like, we're just coasting through life. We're just living, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, there's a lot. And so when we get times where we just don't think about nothing, we actually think about nothing. And it's kind of one of those things like imagine a rubber ball, right? And a rubber ball throughout the day starts whole and then it just like starts to shrink in and cave in on itself. It's just losing air. And then when we are able to just like stop and not think about anything, then that rubber ball starts to fill back up with air, and then we're good. And we can kind of take on the rest of the day, or we can take on the next day or the week or whatever it may be. And so that's just how men's brains work, man. You know what I mean? We kind of get to a point where, our brains just are mush, and then we're like, we just got to sit down, drink a beer and think about nothing, play video games and think about nothing. That's why dudes honestly enjoy getting mad over video games, because they're mad about something that isn't like detrimental to their life. Because women all the time are like, why do you guys play games that make you mad? And you say that it's relaxing. Because it's not detrimental to my life, It's just my character. Like, it's like as if one of your friends came to you and was just mad about something, right? And you're listening to them and you're like, whoa, I'm so glad that I don't have that problem. That's how we feel about video games. We get mad at it, but we're just like, damn, I'm glad that's not my problem. It's just what it is. It's like, that's I guess what makes it relaxing. We're weird. I understand. We're weird creatures. Women just don't understand us, and it's all good. It's all good, man. You know what I mean? We don't understand y'all either. But I'm just saying, like, that's just how it is for a dude, All right, we're going to get to our last one. Women, what did you find out about men when you got a boyfriend? How strong they are. I knew men were strong on average than women, but I didn't really understand how big the gap was until I met my now husband. Because women need to understand that a lot of times men are holding back on a lot of the, like, we can snap your arm like it's nothing, if I'm being straight with you. Men have strength that is very unfathomable to women. And even like women who are combat trained and stuff, they think like, oh yeah, I could take on a man and stuff like that. And it's like, sure, you may have a better fighting chance, but if I'm being honest with you, that man will still stomp your shit in. Like, let's be real. If he was going all out, yes, he would stomp your shit in. Your strength would feel like nothing to that man. You know what I mean? Especially against a trained guy. All you women out there who have like military husbands and stuff, those dudes got unbearable strength. It's ridiculous. So yeah, compared to you guys. But yeah, that is a very true thing. But that's going to go ahead and be the end of that thread, man. Hope you guys enjoyed that thread. I know I did. It's funny, like, hearing about you women and your non-understanding of the male body or experience. It's very awesome to, like, see that. There was a lot of women that got down in the comments of the thread, so I was awesome. I felt great about that because I didn't think there was going to be many women that would want to share, but there was, and I was happy about that. I was like, yay, I'm glad that you guys wanted to share. So, yes, if you have anything that you learned, ladies, about, your guy or whatever, please put it down in the comments and get involved, all right? So, we're going to hop through announcements and we're going to get to our book. So, patreon.com/Am I the Asshole Podcast. Get an exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenario to be featured on the Tuesday and Sunday show. All right. If you're an audio listener, keep downloading the podcast as well as rating us 5 stars. And it's free, baby. And if it's faux free, then it's faux me. And if you want to help out even more on the free 99 side of things, please follow us on Instagram, TikTok, as well as subscribing on YouTube, man. It helps out a lot. You guys have been showing a lot of good support on all 3 platforms, and I appreciate it so much. All right, that's why I do this. But without further ado, let's get into the book. All right, we have Hooked, chapters 5 and 6. Okay, So let's get on into it.
5. Wendy. What do you mean, homeschooling? I ask my brother John. He shrugs, his dark hair bobbing with the motion, arm waving to the papers strewn out in front of him. It's exactly what it sounds like. I asked Dad if I could do it this way, and he said okay. My brows scrunch. Why wouldn't he tell me about this? Cool. So you and Dad had a good talk then? I plop next to him at the dining room table. His lips curl slightly. Wendy, be real. When's the last time Dad actually talked to me? My insides clamp down and I sigh. The excuses for our father rolling off my tongue, so practiced I can barely taste the lies. He's just busy, John, that's all. You know he loves you and wishes he could be here. John scoffs, gripping his pencil so tight his knuckles turn white. Yeah, sure. Besides, I continue, you have me, and we both know I'm all you need. He smirks, rolling his eyes behind his large square-framed glasses. You're right. Who needs parents when they've got you? You mother me enough for the whole damn town. I force a scowl, amusement weaving through my chest. Hey, watch your mouth. Proving my point. He pushes his glasses up his nose. It is cool, though, about homeschooling. I'm happier this way. He's not wrong. I suppose I do mother him more than a normal sibling would, but I'm all he has. Our mother died when John was barely 1, a fatal car accident from a drunk driver. And although I'll never admit it out loud, my dad definitely doesn't give John the time or attention he deserves. It's a sore spot in our relationship, one I don't like to focus on for too long. Well, I'm glad he's letting you stay home if it's what you want. You think you'll miss the interaction? He huffs out a breath, rolling his eyes again. No, kids are assholes. My heart pangs. Maybe homeschooling will be the better option. Hope flares in the middle of my sternum, wondering if my father actually listened all of the times I've begged him to intervene with John's bullying. I smile. Okay, well, I gotta go to work. You want to watch a movie tonight? Why do you work when you don't need the money? He asks. I shrug, chewing on my lower lip. So I don't die of boredom, I guess. You could always go to college. He smirks, glancing at me. And leave you here? What would you do without me? He grins, leaning over his paperwork and effectively dismissing me. Sighing, I stand up, leaving him to it. I love to be around him, but I miss the days when he would attach himself to my legs or put his sticky toddler hands on my cheeks and tell me I was his favorite person in the world. As he got older, he shuttered himself, the cruelties of being bullied making him hide behind walls he was forced to build. An ache spreads across my chest, and it stays with me the entire drive to the Vanilla Bean. It's 2 hours later, after I've messed up 2 macchiatos and spilled an entire gallon of caramel on the ground, that I realize today is not going to be my day. The other barista called off, so it's just me, and for some reason I can't do a single task without messing something up. Can someone give me some service around here? A man's voice hollers from the main area. I stand up from where I'm cleaning the remnants of caramel and brush my hair from my eyes, peering around the corner. I hadn't even heard anyone come in. Hi, so sorry. Give me just a sec. The man scowls, crossing his arms, a large watch blinging on his wrist. Some of us have things to do. I've been standing here for 5 minutes. Irritation stabs my gut. I drop the rag on the counter, the water dripping from the fabric and onto the ground, and walk to the front. So sorry about the wait, sir. He huffs, his hand tapping the counter in a jittery rhythm. I'm no stranger to rude customers. Unfortunately, in the service industry, they happen more often than not. But today, my nerves are shot, and I can feel the ball of fire brewing in the center of my stomach, spinning and growing, the flames licking up my insides. I paste a smile on my face. What can I get you? Large hot coffee, black. I nod, blowing out a relieved breath that his drink is something simple. He pays, and I spin around, side-eyeing the small puddle that's collected on the floor from where the rag has been steadily dripping. I pour his coffee just as the bell above the front door dings, the sound making me jerk. Before I can turn my head, my foot slips on the water, causing me to tip backward, the burn from the sloshing coffee scalding my skin. My tailbone throbs with a sharp ache as I lay on the cold ground, eyes closed, trying to collect myself enough through the humiliation to stand up and just finish this guy's order. Jesus Christ! Is there anyone here who's competent enough to get me a drink? The sting from the coffee mixes with the tears collecting behind my lids. Fuck this guy. I move to my knees gingerly, blowing out slow and steady breaths to calm my racing heart. Today is definitely not my day. And here I was thinking men were supposed to know how to treat a lady. My body freezes, wet coffee-soaked shirt sticking to my skin, my hands getting a purchase on the tiled floor. That accent. The angry customer scoffs, smacking his hand on the counter to punctuate his words, his gaudy watch counting the seconds audibly. And here I was thinking I'd be able to get a cup of coffee without it being a production. A flush rises to my cheeks, and I get up slowly, wincing at the pain that's throbbing in my lower back. My eyes lock on Ocean Blue, the mystery man I met the other night standing as if he was plucked straight from my dreams and placed in front of me. Great. He would show up during my humiliation. My eyes narrow on the other customer, trying to keep my breathing steady and my temper in check, and the smile on my face stretches from ear to ear. I'm so sorry about that. I'll make you another one, on the house. His lips turn down as he glares at me. I already paid. Just make the damn drink. My stomach curls in on itself, visions of making him another cup and then throwing it in his face, assaulting my mind. Stop. My mystery man's voice makes me falter. I would be lying if I said I hadn't thought about him over the past 2 days, but I never in a million years would have expected him to show up here. He leans against the glass case, his 3-piece suit perfectly pressed, giving him an air of sophistication that swallows the guy next to him whole. Do you have a tendency to let small men speak to you in such a way, darling? Shame curdles my insides. No, I clear my throat. He's a customer is all. Nah, man, this bitch just doesn't know how to do a simple job. A low chuckle rumbles from my mystery man's chest, the sound vibrating through the cafe. His frame already towers over the other guy, but like a shapeshifter, he morphs, sucking all the energy from around him and using it to expand his stature. I've never seen anything quite like it, and my gaze is transfixed on the vision. He leans in close to the customer's ear. Your watch is rather loud. The guy scrunches his brows. Huh? My mystery man nods toward the asshole's wrist, the diamond-encrusted watch gleaming like a beacon. Your watch, it's ticking. Okay, and? He sighs, a hand coming to rub across the bottom of his jaw. My eyes track the movement, taking in how incredibly attractive he is, even more so in the light of day. The jerk turns toward me, eyes widening as he smacks his palm on the counter again, the sound slapping against my insides like nails on a chalkboard. Enjoying the show? Make my coffee. I grit my teeth. If I wasn't at work, I wouldn't be trying so hard to bite my tongue. But I enjoy this job. It's the first one I've ever had, and while I definitely don't need it by any stretch of the imagination, it feels good to have something that I've earned. Something that wasn't handed to me because of my last name and the blood that runs through my veins. As much as I love my father, sometimes it gets heavy living in his shadow.
Don't make his coffee, darling.
The pet name flips my stomach, and my eyes volley between the two men. The customer's face turns ruddy, but he doesn't speak, doesn't argue, presumably because even he can feel the power radiating from the man standing at his side. My stranger's tongue swipes along his bottom lip, causing a sharp ache to spread between my legs.
It's graceful,
he says, meeting my eyes.
The way you're acting says more about your character than his.
Heat rushes to my cheeks, gratitude lighting me up like Christmas lights. How is it possible that this man was able to take away my humiliation and turn it into something beautiful with a few simple words?
Fuck you,
the jerk spits. Mystery Man's blue eyes harden, a tight smile twisting his lips. He slips a hand into his pocket, leaning in close to the guy, muttering something in his ear. My ears strain, unable to stop myself from eavesdropping, but he speaks so softly it's impossible to hear. Whatever he says causes the man's eyes to grow large, and he turns and rushes out the door without another word spoken. I'm frozen in place, my heart beating rapidly in my chest as I glance around. And it's only then I take in that there are other people in the shop. 2 young men standing off to the side, both in black suits, and both wearing identical faces. Twins. I was so zoned into what was happening, I didn't even see them. Mystery Man's eyes glance to them and he gives a short nod. Without another look, they walk out of the shop and onto the street. Odd. He brings his attention back to me, and like a moth to a flame, I'm sucked into his gaze, the questions fading to the back of my mind.
Are you all right?
He asks. My heart skips. Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you, though, for standing up for me.
He was a cad, darling. His eyes glint, not worthy to taste the air you breathe.
My cheeks heat. I'd forgotten how forward he is, how absolutely consuming his presence is to be around. If you say so. I smile, glancing at my pink nails, before raising my eyes back up to him. What would you like?
A date.
My breath stutters, my stomach somersaulting. What? He grins, one side of his mouth pulling up.
I think you had me.
My brow lifts, that same fire I felt 2 days ago raging back to life. I did.
Fantastic.
He glances around at the empty tables.
When do you get off work?
I rest my fingers on the counter. I appreciate the gesture, but I have plans tonight.
That's right, he says. With me.
Irritation brews in my stomach. Not with you. God, you're cocky as hell, aren't you? His eyes flare.
There goes that mouth of yours again.
I smirk, my heart jerking as it slams against my chest. He leans forward on the counter.
Tell me your name.
Couldn't find that out when you somehow figured out where I work? I tilt my head. He chuckles, standing up straight, his eyes searing through me.
Happy coincidence, I assure you.
What's your name? I reply.
I'm James.
His hand reaches out across the counter. My stomach tightens and my teeth sink into my lower lip. Slowly, I lift my arm, placing my palm in his, the warmth of his skin shooting up my arm. Wendy.
Wendy.
He twists my hand, bringing it to his lips.
It's a pleasure.
Heat spikes through my metal. The bell chimes above the door, a young woman walking in with kids, and I jerk my fingers out of his, straightening my apron. The left side of his mouth lifts, his eyes never leaving my body.
I'll be seeing you, Wendy, darling.
And then he turns and saunters out the door, the woman who just walked in staring after him with her mouth slightly agape. I can't say I blame her. Taking a deep breath to settle my nerves, I ignore the way my insides flush. I've never had attention on me the way he gives it, and I can't help but wonder if this is how he is with everyone. Like his world stops spinning, its axis tilting just for you. Either way, I like it. It isn't until hours later, when I've closed up shop and settled in for my movie night with John, that I realize he never ordered a drink. A small smile lights up my face, butterflies erupting in my stomach at the thought that maybe he was there for me after all. It should put me on guard, but instead, excitement floods my insides. And that night when I go to bed, I dream of cerulean blue. James.
6. James. My shoe taps against the stone tile of the JR's basement floor. I smile, remembering when Rue fought me on installing it, wanting to stick with concrete instead. But I insisted. Concrete is porous, harder to clean. He was thankful for it after realizing that having a cement dungeon in the bottom of a bar would have looked far more suspicious when the feds sniff around, which they do every few years. Even more so after Rue became sloppy, shooting a man in broad daylight and expecting to have no blowback. If it were anyone else, I would let them rot. The only way to grow from mistakes is by living through the consequences after all. But this is Rufus, and if Rue is the sand, I'm the wave that washes away the footprints. So I handled things, and now we have the feds on our payroll, focusing on our competition, making sure nothing passes their desks with our names. Free rein, as long as it also pads their pockets and keeps their families alive. The Lost Boys, as the newspapers have affectionately labelled us, run wild and free. I'm sure it would come as a shock to people who don't understand the game. The majority of Americans live under the illusion that everything works as it should, that government and people who promise an oath actually do protect and serve. They do, just for me instead of others. It's one of the reasons I find it so lovely to have Peter Michaels and his daughter showing up in the belly of the beast. He's a powerful man, but here his name is useless, his money nothing more than dyed paper. People in this city answer to me, including the pathetic excuse of a human tied to the metal chair in the centre of the room, the one who thought he could call Wendy Michaels a bitch and not have to deal with the repercussions. I don't care for disrespect, especially when they're exerting misplaced power over a woman I'm planning to own. So, I stopped, my shoes clacking on the tile as I moved to stand in front of him. Here we are. I grin, my arms raising to the sides. The man jerks against the zip ties binding him, his eyes wide and red. He mumbles something, but it's difficult to hear behind the duct tape covering his mouth. My smile grows and I lean forward. I'm sorry. What was that? I look to the twins, 2 brothers who have been in my employ since I found them panhandling when they were 15. They're identical, and I used to confuse them so frequently that I've stopped referring to them by their names at all. Did you understand him? I asked them. No, Hook, couldn't hear a thing, one of them says. I look back to the bound man in front of me, tapping my fingers to my mouth. Hard to hear behind the tape. Perhaps we should remove it. Twin 1 nods and walks over, ripping the duct tape off. The man's eyes wince, his mouth rubbed raw from it being torn roughly off his skin. There, I nod. Now, what is it you'd like to say? Fuck you, man, he spits. Irritation flickers deep in my chest as I glance down at the saliva pooled on the floor from where it flew out of his disgusting mouth. Fuck me? I point to myself, chuckling as I walk toward the metal table lining the wall, unbuttoning my suit jacket. It's always amusing to me when a man lacks the capability to understand that his life is in danger. I find that it's normally one of two reasons. Would you like to hear them? Silence is my only answer. It's quite interesting, I assure you. Picking up my black gloves, I slip them over my hands, moving my fingers once they're encased in the leather, admiring the way they feel against my skin. It's either a matter of pride, or it's a lack of awareness, both of which are terribly unbecoming traits. Anticipation simmers low in my gut. Do you know which one you are? I spin around, reaching into my pocket and drawing out my hook knife. Flipping it open, I weave it between my fingers as I walk slowly toward his chair, stopping right in front of him. He doesn't answer, his eyes following the movement of my blade. I step closer, and his arms jerk against his zip ties, the plastic scraping against the metal backing of his chair. No? I cock my head. If you ask me... The tip of my knife skims across his cheek as I walk behind him. You lack the type of awareness it takes for one to understand danger, to really feel it. You see, if you had, my gloved hand comes to rest on his shoulder, you would have known better than to continue disrespecting Wendy Michaels in my presence. Look, I don't know who you are, but if this is about the coffee shop, I'm sorry, man. He stutters his words, his voice growing high-pitched and tense. I tusk. There's that loss of pride. Pity I can't enjoy it. Just let me go. I'll do whatever. I'll go apologize to that girl, if that's what you want. Please. His panic seeps through his words. My grip tightens, and I bend until my face is next to his ear. Stop speaking, or I'll cut out your tongue and feed it to the dogs while you bleed out all over your cheap polyester suit. His body tenses under my hand, but he grows silent. I stand straight, squeezing his shoulder. Good boy. Walking around to the front of him, I glance down at his trembling frame, the cast of my shadow creating a haunting aura. Where was that self-preservation in the coffee shop, friend? My grin widens. We could have saved so much time if you had just recognized your place. My head tilts when he doesn't respond, my stomach tightening with excitement at the fear swirling through his muddy gaze. I lean in close, my voice low. I asked you a question. I don't know. Sorry. Please let me go. There. Was that so hard? I twist to face the twins. Honestly, it's rude how often people don't speak when spoken to. Turning back to the man, I note the wet spot forming on the front of his suit pants, the light grey material growing dark and damp. Pissing himself, no doubt. A smile spreads across my face, and a low chuckle escapes my chest. Relax, man. I was only kidding about cutting out your tongue. Tick, tick, tick. A chill scratches through my insides, causing my head to twitch. I breathe deeply through my nose, trying to calm the nausea rolling through me, growing like a wildfire uncontained. I lose the battle. Lunging forward, I grip the man's face between my gloved fingers. He grunts in pain. I've already told you once how loud that vile piece of machinery is, yet you still wear it in my presence? His eyes grow wide, tears dripping down his ruddy cheeks. Tick, tick, tick. The sound causes my insides to shrivel, memories surging forward, reminding me of all the times I had no power, of all the times I was forced in positions where pride and respect didn't exist. All the nights I laid in bed as an 11-year-old boy, fresh from England and grieving the death of my family, wondering why on earth God made me survive. What had I ever done that was so wrong? My stomach rolls and heaves, bile burning up the back of my throat as my mind spins from the flashbacks. I'm surrounded by the slap of my uncle's crocodile boots on the wooden floorboards. My chest squeezes tight at the sound of his pocket watch. The tick, 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 bleeding into the still of the night as he closes my bedroom door behind him. Rage unfurls from the middle of my stomach, thick and heavy, bursting through my insides, blinding me from the explosion until all I see is fire. My fingers grip against his jaw until his lips deform, forcing his mouth open in an O. My other hand, holding my knife, reaches into the open orifice and grips the tip of his tongue, pulling until he screams, his body thrashing against the chair. The feel of my blade slicing into the meaty flesh sends a slither of satisfaction racing down my spine. Well, I say as I sever the last of the connective tissue, the rip of the muscle making me smirk. I suppose I lied. Tossing the useless slab of meat somewhere behind me, I hook my knife in his armpit, thrusting the blade until the edge of the handle meets skin before yanking out, his axillary artery spurting, the liquid hot as it sprays across my face. Blood drips onto my arm as I raise the edge of my knife behind him. The snick of the zip tie being cut, lost in the muddled screams of agony that unfurl from his blood-filled, tongueless mouth. I pull his arms to the side of the chair, taking the blunt edge of the handle and slamming it on top of the watch, shards of glass sparkling as they crash to the ground. Don't, I repeat the motion, disrespect. The bones of his wrist collapse from the impact. Me! His fingers this time. Again! Over and over, I bring down my arms until my sides grow tired from the repetition. My hair is falling on my forehead, a slight sheen of sweat breaking over my brow, and I flip the knife around, rage burning through my soul, urging me to cut off his hand completely, make sure that he'll never have control of my reaction this way again. How dare he think he could in the first place? My knife saws through the tendons and vessels until it meets bone, the useless extremity dangling, skin mutilated and unrecognizable. I move on, making gashes over his torso, one for every tick he's made me endure. The gurgling screams grow silent, as do the sounds from his timepiece, and as they fade, so does the rage. Slowly, the nightmares disappear, and my eyes blink back into focus. Glancing down, my chest heaving, I take in the blood spatter along my exposed skin and the fabric of my clothes. I crack my neck, soaking in the blessed sound of silence. My eyes move from the twins, lounging against the far wall, to the man bound in front of me, his eyes vacant and mouth gaping, his corpse soaked in blood from the long, jagged slashes across his frame. His arm is hanging at an odd angle, a pool of dark red formed under the mottled skin. I walk forward, glass from the broken shards of his watch crunching underneath my shoes. The tightness in my chest eases, and I blow out a satisfied breath. Moving to the metal table, I strip off my gloves and grab my suit jacket before spinning to head out the door. I look at the twins, who have straightened off the wall, and my steps falter as my foot presses on something soft. I look down, amusement flowing through my veins when I see a severed tongue squished beneath the sole of my shoe. I glance at the twins, running a hand through my hair. Clean this up and make sure he wasn't someone important. They nod, and I leave the room, adrenaline causing every cell to spark under my skin, my blood pumping fast and my cock hard from the rush of the kill. There's something strangely gratifying about becoming someone's judge, jury, and executioner. A type of thrill that can't be replicated. One that courses through your insides and makes you feel untouchable. Infallible. Like a god. Walking up the back stairs and into the office, I grab a plastic bag and unbutton my shirt, followed by my pants, stripping off the blood-soaked fabric to have one of the boys discard. Changing into the spare clothes I keep hanging in the closet, I sit down in my chair, kicking my feet on the desk, and light up a cigar, basking in the earthy taste. Clicking on the computer screen, I pull up a photo of Peter Michaels and his family, desire cramping my stomach, when I zone in on Wendy's face, imagining what it will feel like to have her underneath me, to have her submitting to me fully before I break her and send her back to a fatherless home. I groan, palming my cock over my pants as it pulses behind the zipper. Wendy Michaels is a delicious treat, and I can't wait to enjoy every bite.
All right. Woo! Baby. This book just keeps getting deliciously good. Oh, man. Our main guy, he's a bit of a freak, man. Yeah, my man popping boners to killing niggas, that's wild, bruh. My man is wild. But again, hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. That was chapters 5 and 6 of our new book, Hooked. Goodness, I can't wait to keep getting into this book and continuing it on next week. We'll get right back on into it. Love you guys all. I'll see you tomorrow if you're on Patreon. And I believe on Sunday if you are on, for the free 9-9 people. Let me double check that for you. Wait. Let me see. No, I believe... No. Okay. Then I will see you on Tuesday. All right. I might see you on Sunday. I have no idea. We'll see what's up. But I love you guys all. I'll see you later, and peace.